welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful tool for looking at the future. But look, this isn't some crystal ball that gives you one single perfect answer. No, this is a method for understanding the thousands of different ways things could play out. It's called the Monte Carlo simulation. And it all starts by challenging an idea we all kind of take for granted.
So let me start by asking you a question. When you're making a big decision, is getting a single, super precise forecast actually a good thing? I mean, we're always told to know the numbers, right? But what if the most important thing is knowing what those numbers can't tell you?
Look, we all love certainty. It's just human nature. A single, solid number. It feels reliable. It feels final. And that's how most business plans work, right? They're what you'd call deterministic models. You plug in your best guess for your inputs, and you get one specific outcome. Clean and simple.
So imagine you're starting a food truck. You've built this beautiful spreadsheet, you plug in your numbers, and it spits out this perfect, clean number, a projected annual profit of exactly $75,000. Feels great, doesn't it? You've got a clear target to aim for. But here's the catch. That precision, it's really just an illusion. It's a house of cards. Because think about it. Every single one of your inputs, how many sales you'll make, your food costs, even how many days it might rain, it was all just a single best guess. And in the real world, things are never that simple. That single number isn't just fragile. It's hiding the entire story from you.
And this leads us right into something called the certainty trap. It's this powerful, seductive pull of the single number forecast. It's what everybody does, but you know what? It can be incredibly dangerous when you're making important decisions.
So, why do single numbers fail so badly? Well, for one, they completely erase all the natural ups and downs, all the variability of the real world. They can make two projects that are totally different in terms of risk look exactly the same, just because their average outcome is similar. And, this is the big one, they hide the tail outcomes. That's the small but very real chance of a massive win, or, even more importantly, a catastrophic failure.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. Decision makers then optimize a number rather than manage exposure. When we get that one target, our whole mindset shifts. We stop thinking about managing our overall risk, and instead we just get obsessed with hitting that one specific number, even if it means we're blind to the dangers hiding in plain sight.
All right, so how do we escape this trap? We need a totally new way of thinking. And it all starts with understanding the crucial difference between two words that we tend to use interchangeably: risk and uncertainty.
Think of it like this. Risk. That's like a casino game. We know every single possible outcome, every number on the roulette wheel, and we can calculate the exact probability for each one. It's quantifiable. But uncertainty, well, that's the real world. That's launching a brand new technology. We know there's a range of things that could happen, but we don't have any solid historical data to pin down the probabilities. It requires judgment. And see, our standard models are great with risk, but they just completely fall apart when they come up against true uncertainty.
So, how in the world do we handle all this uncertainty? Well, this is where our hero of the day comes in, the Monte Carlo simulation. I want you to think of it like a powerful engine that is specifically designed to navigate uncertainty by exploring thousands, sometimes even millions of possible futures. Now, the process sounds complex, but the idea is actually pretty straightforward. First, instead of guessing that our food truck will sell exactly 100 meals a day, we define a range. We might say, it could be anywhere from 60 to 140. We do that for all of our key variables. Then, we let the computer take over and run the simulation thousands of times. On each run, it just randomly picks a value from each of those ranges and calculates the profit for that specific scenario. And finally, it gathers up all those thousands of different profit numbers to build one complete picture.
Think about that for a second. Every single one of those runs, that's one plausible version of the future. By running thousands of them, we're not trying to predict the future with a capital T. What we're actually doing is mapping out the entire landscape of what's possible. And this is where we get the big aha moment. We're about to see the massive, dramatic difference between that single, fragile number we started with and the rich, insightful picture that a simulation gives us.
Remember this? Our old view, one number, looks so confident, so precise, and as we now know, it's totally misleading. Okay, now let's see what the Monte Carlo simulation actually revealed.
And here it is, the new view. Instead of one single point on a chart, we get a full distribution, a complete picture of the possibilities. Now we can see that, a modest profit is the most likely outcome. But we can also see there's a 20% chance of actually losing money. And there's also a 15% chance of hitting it big. This is the critical info we were completely blind to before.
To put it even more simply, The simulation is telling us that based on our best assumptions, there's about an 80% chance of making a profit and a 20% chance of posting a loss. That single number, that 75 grand, it completely and totally hid this fundamental risk from us.
And we can get even more specific with this, using a concept called percentiles. It's really just a simple way to answer that nagging question: how bad could things realistically get? For instance, the 5th percentile outcome is a number so low that 95% of all possible futures are better than it. It's how we can actually put a number on our downside risk.
Okay, so this brings us to our final and honestly most important section. How do we actually use this new, richer understanding of uncertainty to make smarter, more resilient decisions, from data to action?
Let's put this into practice. Imagine we're also considering a coffee cart project. Now, a standard analysis shows that both the food truck and the coffee cart have the exact same average expected profit, $75,000. On paper, they look identical. But when we run the simulation, a totally different story emerges. The coffee cart's 5th percentile outcome, its realistically bad scenario, is still a profit, and its chance of losing any money at all is only 5%. The food truck is obviously a much riskier bet.
Now notice something really important here. The simulation didn't tell us which project to pick. It's not a magic 8-ball. What it did was give us a clear, honest picture of the risk profile for each choice. It gives us the clarity we need to use our judgment. Maybe we're willing to take on the higher risk of the food truck for that higher potential reward. Or maybe we prefer the safer bet of the coffee cart. The point is, now we can make that choice with our eyes wide open.
And this final quote is just a fantastic, humble reminder of what this is all about. Simulation remains a tool for organizing ignorance, not eliminating it. We can never eliminate the uncertainty of the future, but a simulation allows us to structure our thinking about it, to organize our ignorance, and to make disciplined choices right in the face of it.
So if you take just one thing away from all of this, let it be this. It's time to shift your thinking. Stop demanding a single, precise answer that is almost always wrong anyway, and start seeking to understand the full range of what's truly possible.
And that leaves us with one final question for you to think about. What single number in your job, in your finances, or in your life might be giving you a false sense of certainty right now? What complex, messy, and important reality might it be hiding?